It's hard to keep up with what's going on because
Yeah,
part of me wants to keep up on stuff that I missed years ago.
yeah.
Like I read an article about a
Mhm.
movie called A Man Called Horse that was released in 1970. Did you ever see that?
You know what? I
You're
know the
on.
title. I'm trying. What's the premise?
You know what? Well, if you decide to watch it, you just go in cold
Okay,
because I had no idea.
I've
I
heard of
had
it.
rented it before years ago. Never saw it. One of those things where I never saw it, and then when I saw Tarantino talk about it, I go, okay, it is insane.
Just tell me who are
But
the stars?
it's set in like maybe early 19th century Americas, Native Americans,
Hmm.
English settlers, English prospectors, kind of looking at the land, and they come upon some Native Americans, and it's one of those movies that you just unsettles you, and you don't know where you cannot know where it's going. Like you feel unmoored almost. It's really good. I'm pretty much at the end, and like I said, you cannot predict what's going to happen
Any
next.
stars? I mean, anybody?
Richard Harris,
Oh, he's
what
great.
a
He's so
performance!
good. Yeah, he's one of my
What
favorites.
an amazing perform. We use the word brave performance. I never fall in line with that idea of a brave performance. This is as close to a brave performance as you can get in the sense of what he was asked to do as an actor and what he, and of course, how he performs it is
It sounds like it's the same time period, like of the Revenant. Revenant, is that how you pronounce it? Revenant with the
yes,
DiCaprio.
probably,
Okay,
yeah. Um, it looks like it was all shot, out in the wilderness. I don't
beautiful
know.
and
It could
yeah,
have been like Oklahoma, and maybe they said it. And it's based on a true story. So, A Man Called Horse.
I'm gonna see it.
It's very it's pretty great.
What was
Oh
that?
Lord, it's the queen bee.
Regina George.
Don't look her in the eye.
You could be really hot if you change like everything.
Hey everybody, it's been 20 years since the release of Mean Girls. While they have remade it, Lorne Michaels, Tina Fey produced this revamped version, a musical version of Mean Girls, and it's great. It is. I think it's fantastic. It's one of those things that is, I think, big in scope, not just production values wise. Yes, it has numbers, great singing, good choreography. It's strong. Visuals are great, but also in theme. I think this is the uh, theme about the destruction around gossip and what forgiveness can bring, also. And this is very important when you're dealing with teenagers. And I don't mean to get too medicinal about it because it's funny. It's engaging from beginning to end. And in thinking through about Tina Fey, you could see that this was her baby, right? This particular project. She took her time in casting it. And so I do want to mention the direction of Samantha Jane and Arturo Perez. And I haven't read much about them, but I'm assuming one took over the directing of actors' duties, perhaps, and the other one took care of the musical around it, because there is a lot of music. Now, some people don't like that. I feel sorry for you because you are losing the joy of stage, right? Because this is a stage concept, but they put it on screen. And so when I think about this movie, I'm thinking about Anjali Rice. I hope I'm pronouncing Anjali
I think
correct,
so. Anjali.
playing Kate, and she's an Australian actress. And this number that she does, Thank You Math. So this is For those of you who haven't seen Mean Girls, either this version or the first, this is a girl who's out of her element. She's coming from Kenya. And it's really creative if you think about it. It's a really good, nice touch. This idea of a girl who is coming just a fish out of water. Yes, she looks like everybody else, but culturally, she's not everybody else. She's ripe to be made fun of. She's a math girl. And her number that opens, one of the opening numbers, thank you, math. There's a Bollywoodish sensibility to it that's really fun and says a lot about her, where she's thanking math and how much it's done for her. That really captures this character. And there's another character. Her name is Babe Wood, I believe. Hope I'm getting this right. I'll look it up if I
think that's her name.
Babe Wood. She has a really touching number. So this is a teaching channel, and we talk about the power of some of these movies that deal with teaching, but also what movies get it right when it comes to teenagers. And this number, What's Wrong with Me, as she looks into the mirror, is so powerful in its depiction of a girl's loss of self-esteem. She looks right to the outsider. I mean, she's very pretty, but she was well cast by Tina Fey. It's a really good story, too, about how she cast this girl. She didn't know that this girl, Babe Wood, was in the 30 Rock. Was it called 30 Rock?
Yeah, 30 Rock.
Many years prior, when she was a little girl, she had forgotten and cast her based on this tape that was sent in. And it's just well cast because she adds the right kind of fragile psyche, this kind of fragile character that just sets the right tone. I want to talk about how they got teaching right or wrong in a moment, and turn it over to you, Jake. But I also want to mention this character of Karen Shetty, this actress who played Avantika. She's the kind of like the third friend, this Indian American girl. There's a number which is so funny. It's called Halloween. She plays such a dumb character. I hate to use the word dumb, but airheadish character. It is really well done. And this is and then it leads into a broader number with this character, this Avantika character, that I would have to say it made me a little bit uncomfortable. So this is the only knock I have on this film, in the sense that it's sexualizing teenagers. Now, I know that all these characters are not literally teens, and I'm aware that they're sending up the slut culture. They're kind of parroting the slut culture. Okay, but you're still watching would-be teenagers dressed up as in real provocative ways, and it's kind of bringing me back to the 80s style thing, movies that we've seen where it kind of sexualizes teens a bit much, maybe a little bit of uncomfortable. Call Me a Prude. I had a problem with that. Then again, there wasn't too much of it. There were a few moments of that. There was another scene that dealt with that and explored it a little bit too much, in my opinion. That being said, it's very good.
Well, to be fair, I felt two ways about this film. Or halfway through the film, I wanted to turn it off. I didn't like it at all. I felt it was too wokish. They had to put every nationality there, including gay, all the trans, all the LGBTQ are represented. I felt like it was just so stifling. Like they had to put all these pieces, and then they had every actor is over 20, 24, 25. I just felt like I just couldn't get into it. I couldn't believe it. I felt like this is not how my high school looks. This is not. I mean, the issue regarding gossip and all, were the first Mean Girl film brought up, and this film continues that. Of course, it's the same story. That is real in high schools. That's real in life. However, I just didn't believe these actors. The best. I mean, I felt like the lead, Anjali Rice. I thought she was great from beginning to end, but I didn't like the Renee Rapp character, comparing her to the previous actress. I hate to compare, but it was hard not to. This is like a woman playing this part. And so until Ruben, I really got towards the end of the film. I love the song "I'd Rather Be Me Than Be With You." Because I didn't like any of the songs. I thought the songs were catchy. None of them, I didn't, but I did love the choreography. So I was mixed. I was like, but overall, I just didn't like it. I can't. I was actually surprised that you liked it so much because I didn't enjoy it as much as you did, except the ending. Because I felt like there's some really good pieces at the end regarding, well, maybe because the relationships were, like any film, things are changing at the end after the climax. I don't want to spoil it, but regarding the relationships with the girls, yeah, a lot of that's believable, but some of it's just taken too far. I know it's a musical, and I like musical. I mean, I think you know that. I love musicals. I just didn't feel like any of these songs really hit the mark. And regarding the teaching piece that you're going to be sharing, I know Tina Fey wrote this. She wrote the original, and then of course this one. I know she had a lot of heart into this, and Tim Meadows is back, and he's the same character as he was in the first film at the principal. But with Tina Fey, I really was, I guess recently, there's a scene where she is dealing with possible drug issues, I don't want to get into it, but that's something like that happened recently at my school. So I said, okay, and I don't know what the outcome is going to be at my school, but I know here this was that rang true because things like that happen. Kids make up stories and really destroy careers, so that felt real. I hate seeing that in real life and watching it on the film, maybe because it was happened so recently at my school. Not drugs, but another issue. But I just didn't like it, Ruben. I didn't like it like you did.
That's
Maybe
fine.
problem is I compared it too much to the first one.
And that's a reasonable comparison. But I do want to mention, I agree with you. It did feel like somebody had a clipboard in their hand and they checked off the appropriate boxes of the wokeness at times, which is really weird because somebody watching this would think, oh, why is he liking this then if it's that harsh and you're not liking it? I guess I feel that somebody watch. I guess its qualities outnumbered its negative features like that, and they didn't. To me, they didn't overdo it, but it was there. I'm agreeing with you. I just feel like the power, man, they just kind of shined a light on teenagers and how they can backbite each other, how they can destroy each other.
Yeah,
And
for
the
sure.
forgiveness really came through. They showed teenagers and specifically females who struggle with their own issues of self-worth. The other thing is this girl, Anjali Rice, playing Katie, they keep mispronouncing her name, and she just handles it so gracefully. The other idea of also is that she likes this boy and she keeps stumbling over her words. She wants him to notice her. They handled it so deftly. Often we see it the other way, where the boy is trying to get the girl's attention. Here we see that side of the world. They handled so many things so well that, yes, I agree with you 100%. I'm tired of woke culture.
Right.
I don't like it in movies. I do, but I think they did so many things well, including the teacher stuff, some of it. There's a great line in the beginning of the film in which the Katie Heron, Anjali Rice character walks in, and Tina Fey asks her. So Tina Fey plays the math teacher, and she asked her where she went to school last year. Well, I live in Kenya. I was homeschooled. Tina Fey's response, this calculus teacher's response is, "Oh, great way to take jobs from my union." And it was that quick. There wasn't a speech. There wasn't
I
anything.
didn't catch that.
It
That's a
was
good
a
one.
funny line. And there's a whimsy to these teachers. There's the French teacher who refuses to she just talks in French and you can't tell her your name. So Katie's confused because she says, "My name's Katie." "No, it's not your name. What's your name?" And the students behind her saying, you have to give yourself a French name. And it's so true to life. These teachers were real. The rapping teacher who wants to be cool. Now that rapping teacher is a comic, um, in real life anyway. He keeps trying to be the cool guy, the friend, and he has a line and he's trying to be funny, and the students are rolling their eyes, and it's so funny. Now,
Right.
Tim Meadows. Tim Meadows plays the principal, right?
Yeah, he does.
Or
Is the principal.
it's so subtle. Now, these are, I'm glad we're kind of spending time because I feel like I have to defend
Right.
why I like this. But because I agree with you,
Yeah.
however, with these other things, Tim Meadows' character, I don't know if you caught it, but he kept talking about himself. He kept saying stuff like, oh, he was a teacher too, I think, because he was passing, maybe he was substituting, or he was, at one point, he was passing out papers to students. And he said something like,
Mm.
oh, I have to, me and my wife are getting a divorce. And then another time he said, oh, this is my last semester here. I'm resigning. The reason why it was so cool to me that that was in there, because it reminds how students are dealing with the whole set of issues. And we've talked about this many times in class in this channel before. They're dealing with a whole set of issues, including the content that they're struggling and wrestling with. The narcissistic teacher who just wants to talk about his personal life thinks that they give a, I almost said the D word, that they care about this, and they don't. It's so subtle, but I think it's right on money. I think that this aspect of the film will probably be underrated, but it's done very well. How they handle teachers.
Yeah. I like the Meadows character. I mean, there are a couple things I did like, of course. I will say one thing that I thought I laughed at was this there was this talent show going on, and this young man who's, I think his name is Jaquil, or I'm trying to remember his name. He's one of the leads, Jaquil, I think Jaquil Spivey. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. I apologize. But he sings he sings in French the iCarly theme song, and it sounds so, I don't know what it is. It sounds so beautiful, and it's French, and he's sweating, and he's just up there on stage, and like, wow, this guy's getting into this piece. They go, thank you, for the iCarly theme in French. I'm like, oh, geez, even that sounds good. But it was just funny because, like, because that's something that's big to kids. For us, that's not big. iCarly is not something, but that's, people grew up with that, right? That was a show that meant something, and there was great characters, and it really dealt with what kids were going through. But yeah, I mean, again, it's funny because my wife came in at the end of the film when I was watching. I go, you know what? I like the last part. I just didn't like the first part. And I wish the whole film was like the last maybe 30 minutes. But yeah, that's just, we don't always agree. Although we do agree quite a bit. But this one, I just didn't like it. So as a whole,
I do want to say there's this bit at the end where Katie, or maybe I'm giving up touch, the way they crown the, I think it's the homecoming queen. I'm getting this wrong. Spring queen.
spring dance, some fling.
Spring
Yeah.
dance. I thought it was very symbolic, and I got a little misty eyed. It was, I think it was handled well. We
Wow.
disagree, and it's okay. Check it out. Tell us what you think. Mean Girls 2024. And we'll see you next time, everybody. Goodbye.